For the next 2 days, we're going to focus on sequences, and there is some vocabulary that we are going to need to be familiar with. So let's go ahead and discuss that vocabulary. Let's go to our composition notebooks, and to the table of contents, we're going to add the word sequences. S-E-Q-U-E-N-C-E-S. And today's date, as well as the page. Now for me, it's going to be page number 2. Alright, so I've turned to page 2 in my composition notebook, and I've titled it Sequences. And there is some vocabulary words I'm going to add, of course, to this list. So go ahead and if you take a moment to pause the video and write down or copy down your page exactly like mine. So on my little whiteboard here, I have a sequence. And a sequence to me is just an ordered list of numbers. Now on the whiteboard you see the sequence I have for you is 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And ... basically means that we could keep going on with this sequence if we wanted to. But again, this is a sequence, an example of a sequence. If you haven't already yet done so, go ahead and add the word sequence to our vocabulary list. Again, sequence is an ordered list of numbers. The example I included was the one I had written on my whiteboard, which was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Again, pause the video if you need to and write this down. Going back to the example I wrote for y'all on the dry erase board, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This sequence, every number in this sequence is called a term. So 2 would be the first term, 4 would be the second term, 6 would be the third term, and so on until the sequence ends. And basically, since we have the ... this sequence is not ending. So I went back to my composition notebook and I added the word term to our vocabulary list. And again, term means a number and a sequence. The example I gave you is that 8 is the fourth term in the sequence 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so what I've done is I've created a table underneath the last word in our vocabulary list. So why don't you take a moment, pause the video, and copy the table down exactly the way you see it. Right here I have the variable n. Remember, a variable just represents an unknown. And I'm using the variable n to represent a term's position in the sequence. And I'm using the variable y to represent the value of the term. Now I'm going to stick with the example I've been using, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And the first number in the sequence was 2. The second number in the sequence was 4. The third number in the sequence was 6. And the fourth number in the sequence was 8. Now you might be wondering what happened to 10. I just left it off. I mean, you can include it as the fifth term and put 10 down here. But I think we can start with the first 4 numbers and try to figure out a pattern using these first 4 numbers. Alright, so take a moment and look at this table. Now my challenge to you in this video is this. I want you to try writing a function that describes the sequence. And again, you might want to take a moment to pause this video, write down the challenge, and also draw the table that I've drawn here. Now, all I did really was make this horizontal table vertical. Alright? N still represents the position in the sequence, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And Y represents the value of that term. So the first position, the value of that term was 2. The second position, the value was 4. The third position, the value was 6. In the fourth position, the value was 8. Now, we got to try to figure out a rule to describe this sequence. So, what am I doing to n in order for it to become 2? What am I doing to this n in order for it to become 4? What am I doing to this n in order for it to become 6? And what am I doing to this n in order for it to become 8? Okay, hopefully the rule you came up with was multiplying n, or 1, times 2 to give you 2, n, or 2 times 2 to give you 4, n, 3 times 2 to give you 6, and n, 4 times 2 to give you 8. Alright, so the rule for this sequence, or the function that describes this sequence, or the pattern in this sequence, is 2 times n, or 2n. Today we added 2 words to our vocabulary list. Those 2 words are sequence and term. Sequence, again, is just an ordered list of numbers, and term is a number in a sequence. Try to become familiar with those words. They will appear on tests, so you really want to know them so that you know what the question is asking you. If you are confused, which you might be at this point, try to make sure that you ask any questions in class tomorrow when I'm showing you more examples. And if you need to, take out your composition book and copy down additional examples in class. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all in class.